And away we go.
So, it is officially June. Sorry. It is officially June 2nd.
Yes, it's the start of the 1 month of the year that a particular community would certainly love to go wild for, because, well, it's their time of the month, and they are celebrating it pridefully. If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Pridefully. Although I don't think they need a month, regardless, they're celebrating it pridefully. And I'm not gonna say happy. I'm not gonna give them. Never mind. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, they're celebrating it pridefully. It's very, very, very important. But still, regardless, pridefully nonetheless. And yes, so there's a bunch of pushback, but there's also a bunch of support. So whichever side you're on, or just choose a side, or just don't choose a side. It's whatever. It doesn't really matter, but still. Regardless, it is what it is. Anyways, what's in the news?
Good question. That's a very, very good question. Indian smuggler caught at airport with 52 live venomous snakes and exotic animals.
What? Why did he have 50 live venomous snakes and a bunch of exotic animals? I mean,
Well,
I've heard of cases like that before. Well, the exotic animal part, not the venomous snake. But why?
Mumbai Customs arrested an Indian national arriving from Thailand for smuggling 44 Indian pit vipers and other wildlife in check-in baggage. Customs officials intercepted the passenger after noticing snakes and endangered animals were hidden in a plastic crate inside a trolley bag. The seized wildlife also included 3 venomous spider-tailed horned vipers and 5 Asian leaf turtles, all squirming in a bucket when discovered. Mumbai Customs released photographs showing blue and yellow reptiles and reported they more commonly seized gold, cash, drugs, and other contraband than snakes. This rare seizure highlights ongoing illegal trafficking of endangered species into Mumbai, with past incidents involving turtles, hornbills, and small apes arriving from Thailand.
Huh? From Thailand, huh?
Yes.
Huh? Interesting. Well, I will say this. Well, it's a good thing the guy got what he deserved, but I would like to know how was he able to fit a bunch of venomous snakes in a plastic without getting
One of the greatest mysteries.
without getting bit or anything like that. And second off, why did he believe that putting all of those endangered animals was a good idea? Like, why did he think putting all those endangered animals was a good idea to begin with in a plastic bin?
No one knows.
Yeah, that's true. No one really does know. But nonetheless, he got caught, obviously. Or if usually people don't get caught, he definitely failed at not getting caught. But nonetheless, the animals are safe to live another day. Because let's face it, these animals would have most likely been killed and probably made they would have been killed and probably sold for clothes or I don't know, something of that sort. Because what else are you going to use endangered animals for? Food?
Maybe make money out of venom, out of vipers or snake venom?
Somehow make a cure for that venom? Huh?
Possibly, yeah.
What are you gonna do? Make snake boots? Probably. A snake jacket? Most likely. Now I get that. I get that, but it's like, what about the other endangered animals? What were you gonna do with them?
Probably use its fur for clothing.
Most likely, yeah. And the turtles. They could have probably been used for anything. But regardless, nonetheless.
Mainly their shells.
Yeah, I can see that. Mainly their shells. But I really do not see how you can use a turtle in any way other than their shells. I would think that their shells would be the most valuable because of how hard they are. But nonetheless, the guy got caught, and he will get just what he deserves.
Absolutely.
But is there anything else in the news?
Sweden's Maya Stark wins the US Women's Open for her first major championship.
All right, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Her first major championship. That's great. Is there
Yeah,
more on this?
Maya Stark has lost her confidence heading into the US Women's Open. Her decision to stop worrying about that sparked her to the biggest title in women's golf. The 25-year-old Swede shot an even par 72 on Sunday and stayed ahead all day. Her four-day total of 7 under, 281 at Erin Hills left her 2 strokes ahead of top-ranked Nelly Korda and Japan's Ryo Takeda.
I will say this: congratulations to that woman. Obviously, to gain her confidence back, I presume, from doing the competition and winning. That is great. That is great to hear and great to see. I hope that she has a lot more success in her career and whatever she does in her future endeavors. And yeah, obviously, it's great to see. It's great to see that she at least won the competition, and she's probably gonna enter more, enter more as the coming years. But who really knows what's gonna happen? It's gonna happen from here. She might just become an influencer. She might just make a podcast. Who knows what she might do? But the point is, I hope she succeeds in what she does.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just great to hear that she won. It's great to hear that. It's definitely great to hear that there's something good is happening.
It is quite an achievement.
It definitely is. May she achieve more in her career and in her life in general. But yes, is there anything else on the news?
Italy's Mount Etna erupts, sending huge plume of ash and rock into air.
Oh, wow. Oh, that it'd be terrible if someone got hit by that. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be very terrible. But is there anything else in the news? I'm sorry, I meant regarding that. My bad.
Mount Etna in Sicily erupted massively on Monday, sending a plume of ash, rock, and high-temperature gases several kilometers high into the air. The eruption began overnight with strombolian explosions and volcanic tremors originating 2.8 kilometers below the crater, producing explosions heard up to 50 kilometers away. The eruption forced about 40 tourists to flee rapidly, with footage on social media showing people running downhill as a pyroclastic eruptive column formed and the volcano started spewing hot lava. Authorities released an aviation alert related to volcanic activity, leading to the diversion of certain flights from Catania to Palermo, while regional airports remained operational since ash was not being blown toward them by the wind. This eruption, the strongest since 2014, raised alert levels and could affect air travel and tourism, highlighting Mount Etna's status as one of Europe's most active volcanoes.
And do people live near this active volcano?
Apparently, yes.
I don't get the logic in living next to a volcano. I mean, it's one thing if the volcano has been active for years. That's it. I just don't get the point in living next to a volcano. I really don't. But doesn't they haven't reported anybody got hurt, so I'm going to assume the best that nobody got hurt. But still, at this point, if you live next to an active volcano, you're asking to either get killed or just injured. But I don't want you to get killed or injured, but you're kind of asking for it if you live next to it. It's one thing if you're just taking a vacation, maybe touring, you're still kind of asking for it, but at least you don't live near it. But it's like, oh, speaking, man, it's like, dang. It's like I just hope that no one got hurt. And it doesn't seem like they reported that anybody got hurt. So that's a good thing. I don't know, that's a good idea. Like, yeah, that seems like a pretty good idea to me. Just move away from the volcano. Probably got to do it, and then all your problems will be solved from there.
Indeed.
But hey, it's just a it's just a crazy idea that I thought of. Anyways, yeah. Is there anything else in the news?
States are rolling out red carpets for data centers, but some lawmakers are pushing back.
Okay, why are they pushing back?
States are offering incentives to attract data centers due to rising demand for artificial intelligence and cloud computing platforms, which may lead to economic benefits. Some state lawmakers oppose incentives for data centers, arguing that they can create friction with local communities. Critics note that data centers generate few permanent jobs, while advocates highlight their need for construction jobs and tax revenue for local governments. In Texas, lawmakers are concerned about protecting the electric grid amid increasing data center demand following the 2021 winter blackout.
Well, man, we've been talking about artificial intelligence for a while now.
Yes, we have.
Man, artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence.
And robots.
And robots. Sex robots. Regular robots.
Robots for labor for some reason.
Yeah, that too. And just, yeah, it's just a whole lot. It's just a whole lot. But ultimately speaking, it all just correlates. Will artificial intelligence be good for us? To an extent, yes, but ultimately no, because it'll take away all of our jobs.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, not yet, but in the future.
But
In
at
the
this
future,
rate, they might as well.
at this rate, it might as well. Yeah, that's true. But once more, maybe not in our lifetime. Well, it will happen in just not while we're young. Maybe while we're getting old, but not while we're young. Yeah, but yeah, it's like it just won't happen. Like, it won't happen immediately, but it will happen eventually.
Very true.
So, with all of that being said, we just have to prepare for what is going to be.
Or if it's going to prevent us from moving about for the next year or two.
That's true. That is so true. That is extremely true. But nonetheless, we thrive. We thrive and we conquer.
Yes.
But, is there anything else in the news?
Salmonella outbreak in cucumbers expand to 18 US states.
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
An outbreak of salmonella tied to recalled cucumbers has sickened 45 people across 18 US states. The cucumbers were produced by Bedner growers in Florida and distributed by Fresh Start Produce Sales. At least 16 individuals have been hospitalized due to the outbreak, with cases reported on 6 cruise ships. Officials warned that the actual number of cases may be higher and potentially affect more states.
You're telling me people who grew cucumbers that are supposed to be healthy, sickened that many people.
Yes, all because of salmonella.
So, that's why you should grow your own food, man. That's why you can't. That's why you can't really trust the people who give us our food, or at least the majority of it, because it's like, bro, they're just trying to make us sick.
You never know where this food is coming from or what its environment is.
Or what they're putting in it. They're
Exactly.
sprinkling on it. I mean, if there was a way to prevent that, by yourself, then sure, yeah, by all means, go ahead, clean the cucumber. But it's like, yeah, if there was no way to prevent that, then it's like, dang, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. That really is.
Yeah.
That really is honestly very unfortunate. Sorry. Yeah, like, that's honestly very unfortunate. But ultimately speaking, it's like, there's really nothing. There's nothing you can really do about that. It's just, it is what it is, man.
And it was what it was.
But yeah, all I'm gonna say is this: be safe, everyone. Make sure you double check your food. Make sure you double check your food to ensure that it's safe for consumption. And just also make sure it doesn't make you sick. And ultimately speaking, you just have to make sure that yeah, if you can grow your own food, grow it. If you can harness your own food, harness it. The point is, you want to live as long as possible. shoot, maybe even up to 107 years old. Who knows? If you can somehow do that, then sure, do it. But yeah, like yeah, like a lot of people live healthy, long, healthy lives. Some people die earlier than they should, and yeah, you just gotta make sure that that's not you because of what you're eating or drinking or just consuming in general. Is there anything else in the news?
Milky Way's chance of colliding with galaxy billions of years from now. New study puts odds at
Okay, let's hear more about that.
the Milky Way has a 50% chance of colliding with the Andromeda Galaxy in the next 10 billion years, according to a new study by an international team of astrophysicists. The study indicates that any potential merger would likely occur in about 8 billion years after the Sun has died. Mr. Sawala stated that the merger in the next 5 billion years is extremely unlikely. The probability of a collision has shifted from near certainty to a coin flip, highlighting a more favorable outlook for the Milky Way.
Interesting. Do you have any initial thoughts on that?
It is inevitable, for sure. It's certainly going to happen, but just not, certainly not in our lifetimes.
Yeah, that's true. I really have no initial thoughts on it, but yeah, I agree with what you said. But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
EU fines delivery hero and Glovo €329 in cartel case.
Okay, a cartel case. That should be interesting. Let's hear more about that.
The European Commission fined delivery hero and Glovo over 376 million US dollars for participating in a cartel in the online food delivery sector. The companies illegally exchanged sensitive information and agreed not to hire each other's employees within the European Economic Area. This case is notable for being the first time the EU sanctioned the anti-competitive use of a minority shareholding in a competing business. Cartels like this reduce choices for consumers and business partners, limit opportunities for employees, and decrease incentives to compete and innovate.
So what they were doing was pretty much illegal. Right?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, gotcha. But we'll say this: I never truly see the point of like why people do stuff like this, or why people do illegal actions. I mean, yeah, I mean doing some things are justified, whether if it's to stick it to the man or like do what you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, especially if you don't have the money to do it. But other things such as this, I just don't see the point. I do wonder what runs through people's minds when they do stuff like this, especially if they're already, especially if they're already making money, if they've already made money the right way, or they were making money the right way prior, and then they just chose to do this. I never really saw a point in stuff like this. I never really saw a point in stuff like this before. How about you?
It is very, very complicated. It's an absolute bamboozle. I'm bamboozled by just hearing about this. So, two companies working together that don't plan on hiring each other's employees, yet somehow the EU fined the two companies relating to cartel activity. I feel there's more to this.
There has to be more. There has to be more. There's always more to it. I mean, it'd be weird if there wasn't more to it. There's definitely more to the story than what we're hearing.
Yeah,
And maybe eventually, maybe eventually, that will be revealed. But for now, we don't know anything. But yeah, for now, we do not know anything whatsoever about this specific thing that has happened. But yeah, there is always more to the story than what they're telling us, or what is being said or revealed by the person who is responsible for all of this. But yeah, I just personally don't get it. I don't. But hey, to all each his own, and it is what it is.
and it was what it was.
Exactly. But is there anything else in the news?
There should be. Erin Patterson talked about herself, her family life in murder trial testimony.
Okay. What did she say?
Erin Patterson, an Australian woman, took the stand in June 2025 in Morwell, defending herself against charges of murdering three relatives with a mushroom-laced meal served in July 2023 at her home in Leongatha. The trial follows the deaths of Patterson's former husband Simon's parents and sister, allegedly caused by beef Wellington containing the toxic death cap mushroom, which prosecutors say Patterson deliberately added. Patterson described her troubled marriage to Simon, including periods of separation and communication struggles, a spiritual conversation in 2005, after initially being a very atheist, attempting to convert him, and personal battles with low self-esteem and motherhood challenges. Her defense lawyer argued the deaths were a tragic accident and acknowledged Patterson repeatedly lied to police, while Patterson maintained the poisonings were unintentional and described her distancing from the Patterson family before the incident. The trial continues with Patterson scheduled to resume testimony as the court and jury consider evidence amid worldwide attention on the highly publicized case involving charges of three murders and one attempted murder.
Huh. Well, that is definitely. So she is admitting to like killing like these people, right?
Well,
Or
she's not admitting too much of it either.
no. Okay, so it's pretty much. So it's pretty much in between. It's like she's not admitting to it completely, but she's kind of alerting to the fact that she did it. Because her marriage was just not good in terms of
Exactly.
spiritually or mentally. I believe you said physically, right?
Let me check.
Just
Well, there were certainly struggles in communication and in spiritual conversion as well, so that's mainly the concerns.
gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So could have just easily. I'll be honest. People make it so hard on themselves. You could have easily just left and maybe called the cops and I don't know. You could have just done something else. I think the person's life didn't have to end because there was a lack of communication.
Yeah, there are people in this world that have it much worse.
That's true. There's a lot of people in this life who have it so much worse. Now she had it bad too, but it's like it's like
It,
could have easily left.
really, that's how far you want to go. This is how she wants to handle the issues by unaliving them. Like, I'm not sure if it's petty or this downright diabolical.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's just not needed.
Definitely not needed.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It just wasn't. It just really wasn't. I mean, like you could have just found another way. You really could have just found another way. But
Or find another partner and be happy with them.
that's true. I just don't really understand people's. I really don't get. I just don't understand people's thought process, thinking when it comes to stuff like this.
I think most people are just obsessed with their past lives and obsessions. That they'll do anything to reclaim that moment that they once wanted to have back in that moment, but didn't have the chance to. And now, doing what they did, they feel fulfilled, yet it will come about to bite them in the arse.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's coming back to bite her in the rear end now. So you know, I mean, unless she's willing to just take responsibility, then cool. But if she's not, then either way, she's still gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, is there anything else in there?
At least 34 dead in India's northeast after heavy floods.
Okay, let's hear more about that.
At least 5 people died in landslides and floods in Assam, India, amid heavy monsoon rains in 2025. Torrential monsoon rains caused the landslides and floods after persistent rainfall over the last 3 days. A red alert was issued for 12 Assam districts, including urban flooding affecting 10,150 people and rescue teams deployed. The Assam Chief Minister described the situation as poor and confirmed that rice shipments have been sent out to provide food assistance. The deaths are among the first this monsoon season, with flood risks heightened by shifting weather patterns in South Asia.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's so unfortunate that people's lives are lost because of these natural disasters. Whether it is all natural or whatever Risk would like to bring up that there is some higher entity trying to manipulate the weather and just purposely trying to cause havoc to infrastructure and dare I say, intentionally unaliving people in the process. So, in a way, to force local authorities or even national/federal governments to fund emergency services to resolve the issue that was put in their areas.
That is true. It is so. It is very, very true. It is very, very true. And I agree. I 100% agree. But yeah,
Risk,
is there? Oh, what did you say?
Risk would have a lot to say about weather manipulation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Risk would definitely have a lot to say about the manipulated weather,
Yeah,
about like what is going on and what is happening. About what is happening in the weather. You know, Risk's not here, but he would have definitely have a lot to say.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he sure would.
Uh, but yeah, is there anything else in the news?
Nearly 40% of the world's glaciers are already doomed, scientists say.
Okay. What more on that?
Scientists published a study in Science showing that 39% of the world's glacier mass is already committed to melting globally. The study modeled over 200,000 glaciers across 8 glacier models and simulated ice loss under various climate scenarios, with some regional losses more severe than others. If current climate policies remain unchanged, global temperatures are expected to rise by 2.7 degrees Celsius by 2100, resulting in the loss of approximately 76% of today's glacier volume and causing sea levels to increase by a minimum of 130 millimeters, about 4.4 inches. Co-lead author Lillian Schuster highlighted that even very small increments in temperature increases have significant impacts, while co-author Harry Secolari noted that meeting ambitious climate goals could still preserve many crucial glaciers. The findings suggest urgent action is needed to protect glaciers that support water supplies, ecosystems, and coastal stability for billions of people worldwide. I don't have much to say regarding the glaciers.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I don't really.
Well, glaciers can be found mostly in very, very cold climates, mainly somewhere in the North Pole, the Arctic, and the South Pole, mostly Antarctica, and of course, a lot of environmentalists and climate change activists would most likely pay attention to something like this because if the glaciers are melting, the sea levels would rise, and if the sea level rises, then a lot of coastal towns or even cities along the coast would may not exist in the next few decades or centuries.
Okay, okay, I see. Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's what that. Okay. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Is there anything else in the news?
Yes, I got a very interesting email from the top G himself, apparently.
You good?
Yes, I'll read it to you. The email reads, have you ever asked yourself, how much is the real world worth when you just look at what you get for a subscription, looking for only a few things? You get access to a 20 plus person 24/7 subscription and technical support team, over 50 coaches in different time zones from all around the world, over 7 different campuses, entire communities with their individual leaders who are dedicated entirely to their craft, over 1,000 hours of course content and lessons, daily updated materials for each business model we teach, information completely up to date about your chosen industry, a framework and comprehensive program built from the ground up to give you everything you need to succeed. Motivational coaches, accountability managers to make sure you stay the course. A gamified experience designed to make business fun. All this inside a completely custom application developed for any device you have available. The number one comment the real world receives is that it's much bigger than anyone imagines when they sign up. Our student success rate is due to the 1,000 plus man hours put into the platform every day, with over 400 staff working full time around the world, from support, tech, research, development, experts, coaches, managers. The real world is a platform that over-delivers on every single front, and its student success rate reflects it. Back to our question. How much do you think the above is worth? As of right now, the price of the real world is only 99 US dollars, and it will rise again this week. Our new systems being built have a hard cap on the number of students they will make rich. So the price will rise over and over again until we reach that cap. The price will rise until it's simply too expensive for the slow to sign up. Join now before that happens. Learn how to make money online with the most cut-edge technology available to you. www.jointherealworld.com.
That was a very okay. That was a very long email.
Yes,
Uh,
it sure was.
are you on his email list? I'll be honest. At one point, I was.
Yeah, I'm still on his email list. Not that that I want to. It's just it's at least I stay stay updated on what he's saying and what he's doing. And oh yeah, whilst I was trying to stay updated on what the Tate Brothers are doing, remember a couple episodes ago that the Tate Brothers were prosecuted in the UK for, well, whatever a lot of people are saying they're being prosecuted for, which,
What
yeah.
what's up with that now?
Well, there's nothing new on that, but I just realized, and I'm not saying that it's intentional. Okay, maybe it's slightly intentional, just to get a reaction out of people.
Okay.
However, the time a few days after Andrew Tate opened up the real world to a lot of his supporters, a few days after that, that's when the news broke out of the Tate brothers being prosecuted in the UK for sex trafficking and other abuses brought forward by the victims. I think that is exactly what they're trying to put forward and say that the Tate brothers are under attack, but we already know what's all behind this.
Do you think that's the narrative that the Tate brothers are trying to pull, or do you think that
I'm not,
do you think that they're orchestrating all of this, or
I'm not saying they're orchestrating all of this. Like, I don't, like, why would they want to go through this? Why would they want to be put in jail for something they haven't done, or at least what they said they haven't done. Like
Wow.
it's very complicated. Yeah,
I would not. I would not. Why would you? Why would you put yourself through all this? No one would. It's stupid.
yeah. But of course, there will be a few people that would pick up on this. Like the day that Andrew Tate opens up the real world to a lot of his supporters and other people that may be interested in joining, a few days later, the United Kingdom prosecutes the Tate Brothers for sex trafficking. And people will look at that, will look at moments, connect the dots between the two and say, oh my gosh, the Tate Brothers are under attack. They're trying to make people rich. So now the UK are going after them, saying they're being prosecuted for something bloody bloody blah. Like we've seen this before, and
We've seen this.
I will say this: whoever is responsible, fair play. I don't encourage it. I don't support it, but fair play. It's really getting people talking. Well, at least for those who at least pick up on whatever it is they're trying to insinuate.
Pretty much for the people who care. Like, I'll be honest. It was interesting when it first came out, but it's like, bro, it's like, okay, we get it. These are two rich guys who are getting persecuted for sex trafficking. We get. Is this ever gonna end?
Pro-
Not that, like,
no,
not.
probably not.
Yeah, if there are real victims, then like, I hope that they get like, reconciled for what the Tates did. But if the Tates didn't do anything, just say that. I I I just don't care anymore. I don't. It's not my life. It's not. What's that gonna do for me? Other than what's that gonna do for me except pacify me temporarily from like my real life? What is me knowing that two rich dudes are getting prosecuted, not persecuted, prosecuted for for allegations. It's not going to do anything to me. Now, if the allegations are real, then I hope they get what they deserve. But if the allegations are not real, then, well, clearly, yeah, I hope the tapes get reconciled for, you know, reconciled. But regardless, it's not affecting me. It's not affecting me. Even if I cared, it would only pacify me temporarily from my real life. Because my real life is not that interesting, but it's decent enough. And yeah, it's like, it's just all drama to me. And yeah, I think that's what most people look at Andrew Tate as like a savior for all men or a savior for real masculinity. I don't care. I don't care. I personally don't care anymore because it's like it's not going to do anything for my life for me to defend this guy Tate, a guy that doesn't even know I exist. So it's just a matter of, bro, if he doesn't know that I exist. He doesn't care about me. Why should I care about him? You know? It's just strange. But hey, regardless, whatever happens, happens. Whether if they pay for their crimes or whether they get reconciled, whether their innocence are proven or whether they're proven to be innocent, it won't affect me. It really won't affect me because ultimately speaking, it's like I have my own life, I have my own things I have to worry about, and yeah, it's one of those things I have to worry about is not. It's not about the tape getting arrested. Like imagine if I had a family, like imagine if I had a family and I'm a wife and she's like, honey, aren't you gonna come to bed? And I'm like, not now, honey. I'm defending the tapes on Twitter. Not now, honey. Not now, honey. Uh, Andrew Tate just got locked up. Like, hey, honey, don't you want to have fun? Not now, honey. I'm watching the tapes on how to be a masculine man, while also not taking their advice on how to treat your woman. Because some of the advice is good, some of it is good. I will give them that,
Yeah, I'd say the same.
but some of it is to not be taken seriously. But yeah, it's like, not now, honey. I'm watching the G. I might even shave my head like him. And she just rolls her eyes in disappointment. She's like, Mom, and the daughter's like, Mom, or the son's like, Mom, why are you upset? It's like, your father is obsessing over another man. Sounds pretty weird. Yeah, it's like imagine if I was a married man, like, I just was obsessed over Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate. Not now, honey. Tristan Tate is teaching me how to dress. like a real man, while also not taking his advice. But regardless, yeah, it's like the point is, you get the point though. I just can't
Yeah,
care.
I do.
But yeah, it's like but is there anything else in the news?
Should be.
Okay,
25 people face French judge for attempted kidnapping of crypto tycoon's family.
yikes, yikes. Let's hear more about that.
French authorities have charged 25 individuals, including 6 minors, in connection with a May 13th attempt kidnapping in Paris involving the family members of Paymium's CEO. The investigation follows a series of linked kidnappings since January, including a May 1st abduction of a crypto millionaire's father and a disrupted plot near Nantes. The suspects, aged 26 to 23, and mostly from the Paris region, acted in broad daylight in the arrondissement and are described as young individuals influenced by money beyond their control. The prosecutor noted the group includes those with logistic roles, and Interior Minister Tate pledged enhanced security for crypto professionals following these events. These kidnappings highlight growing threats against wealthy crypto figures in France, prompting increased law enforcement and industry collaboration to prevent future attacks.
Well, I will say this. Definitely, yeah, young individuals ruled by money, that makes sense. And ultimately speaking, you definitely should not let that rule your life because ultimately that would be your God, your Lord and Sovereign, or your Lord and Savior. But regardless, nonetheless, yeah, I do hope the people who are kidnapped are safe and sound, and that nothing bad has happened to them in the process. And I hope they get, and I hope the kidnappers get just what they deserve, just what they deserve in the process. Because ultimately speaking, kidnapping in any way, shape, or form is not okay. I mean, shoot, just look at Kim Kardashian and the grandpa robbers getting kidnapped, but they just want the robber, but still, it's it's definitely not something to kid around. Even if it is your sick, twisted fantasy. It's not, it's good. Yeah, at least I'm joking about that part, but still. Yeah, it's like yeah, it's just not something to joke about, the kidnapping, And I just hope everyone is safe and sound and no one got hurt in the process. Yeah, and it's just a prime example of what money can do to you. Making it is not a bad thing, but if you let it rule your entire existence, then yeah, that's the bad thing. Ultimately speaking, yeah, kidnappers are getting just what they deserve in this particular situation. So hey, it is what it is.
And it was what it was.
Exactly. But in other news, okay, so officially Kanye West had to censor one of his most popular songs, the Double H song, and he had to replace Double H with Hallelujah. It doesn't sound. That doesn't sound good. The instrumental is still great, but it's like, bro, he had to completely censor that song because, well, yeah, he folded. Eh, it's whatever. Some people call it blasphemous because people just throw that word out like it's nothing. Other people say that it's still good. Other people say that it's completely trash because they've heard the original the song before, and it's already too late because the song spread like wildfire. So, ultimately speaking, it's like you never really know what can happen to an individual, and how, or like what can come to pass in terms of what can happen in your life. But yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much all there is in that news as well. But yeah, he had to censor his song because I'm pretty sure people threatened him. People at the high people higher threatened him, and for his anti-Semitism. Some people would call it. Most people would call it anti-Semitism. Other people would call it art. I call it nothing. The instrumental was great. The beginning of the song was interesting. The rest of it was just Double H. The rest of it, okay, I'm just gonna say it. The rest of it was Heil Hitler, but like the I would say like the beginning of the original song. I would say it expressed more than like when he was saying Heil Hitler. It just expressed how he was feeling, and it's like, dang, it's unfortunate, but you can't really do anything about it. He doesn't put his trust in any higher power. He puts his trust in his money and his fame and all that he has. So there's not really much that can happen from here on out.
Not much.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And it was what it was.
Yeah, he'll figure out something. Or, yeah, I think he will. But regardless, is there anything else in the news?
Climate activist Greta Thunberg joins aid ship sailing to Gaza aimed at breaking Israel's blockade.
Oh, man. She's right. I'm not going to pretend. Okay. Greta Thunberg, this is like the second time we've talked about her. Let's hear what let's hear about her.
Alright, climate campaigner Greta Thunberg and 11 activists set sail for Gaza on the ship Madeleine to break Israel's blockade, as reported by organizers. The Madeleine departed from Catania, Italy, to deliver aid and raise awareness about the humanitarian crisis, according to activist statements. Joining Thunberg on the crew are actor Liam Cunningham and Rima Hassan, a member of the European Parliament, as stated in the press conference. Activist Tiago Avila stated, "We are breaking the siege of Gaza by sea as part of a broader strategy of mobilizations to address the blockade."
It's almost funny how one-sided people can be. Now, I'm not saying either side is in the right or the wrong. I see, yeah, they're committing mass genocide on this side, that side, etc., etc., etc. But bro, like let's be honest. The people of Gaza are also killing the people of Israel. I'm not saying I'm on any side, but it's like, bro, it's like the least you could be is mutual and like the killings that are happening on both sides, and not just be one sided, not just be one sided and all this stuff. And Greta Thunberg is not an exception either. It's like she'll do what she has to do. No real. I'll say this: being an activist is not bad, but it's also not something that I would go hard for if I was an activist. Because it would be more of a part time. If I was an activist, it would be more of a part time thing for me instead of like a full time thing for me. Because it's like, ultimately speaking, it's like change in the world is not necessarily guaranteed. It's not. I mean, minor change maybe, but ultimate change is just not guaranteed. And it's really not. Like complete change is not guaranteed. I mean, shoot. Look at our party system, man. It's like every time when something changes, it changes again. It changes like every 4 years. It either gets ruined completely, or it gets a little bit better. And maybe if the person gets an extra 8 years, it'll continue to be better for those 8 years. But that's about it. Like nothing really gets good. Nothing really good. Nothing good happens. Nothing like permanently good ever happens to us or anybody in the world. Temporary things are fixed, but like not permanent things. Like laws, how people should actually no, just laws in general, in regards to the country, in regards to like the state specific states and how they should rule, do certain rulings. It's unfortunate, but that's life. I've accepted it because like I know that people, we're not all gonna agree on what's positive for society and what's negative for society. We're all always gonna have a different perspective and a different view. And ultimately speaking, it's never really going to be that simple. It truly never really is going to be that simple. It's almost like music. It's like I don't know. People complain about useless things like who the better rapper is, or who the better singer is, or why they're degenerate, or why they're not degenerate. Which also brings me to a woman. Let me try to pronounce her name. Her name is Lucille Bogan. And before there was a Meg the Stallion, before there was a Cardi B, before there was a Sexy Red, there was Lucille Bogan. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering her name, but still, yeah, it's like yeah, it's like she was in the blues category and she was singing about sex. I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing back in the day. It was like they were singing about sex. I did not know that there were sexual icons like that. I'm like, besides the beat, besides the instrumental, this music is degenerate. But I'm getting off topic. I'm getting off topic. The point is, the point is, there's never going to be substantial change. There's always going to be temporary change. And I would say that certain things stay the same, certain things don't stay the same. But ultimately, you always have to prepare for a change, nonetheless. And let me get back on the other topic at hand. Gaza is real. I just don't think there should be a war. But also, I don't believe that you should be one side. You should always be just be one side because. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. It was just I thought you could hear me. Anyways, yeah, it's like you just shouldn't be one side. You should at least acknowledge that changes are happening on both sides. That's how I see it. But nonetheless, that's all I have to say. Is there anything else in the news?
I think that's us.
All right. Peace.
Peace.